China's economy developed at a breakneck pace over the last 2 decades, but there's a price to pay for having a rapidly rising middle class and industrial growth. You can see it hanging in the air in Beijing and on the banks of the fabled Yangtze River. Now the country is undertaking a massive effort to clean up its water, air, and soil.
I think this demonstrates a real turning point in China's role globally on dealing with environmental management. China's actually doing a lot, but most importantly, not because others are pushing it, but because China has recognized that it's in its own self-interest to do so.
Chinese leaders are implementing a so-called ecological red line to safeguard areas where the environment is at greatest risk, such as Beijing, Tianjin, and the Yangtze River. At the same time, China's dependency on coal dropped again last year. More than 4 million older vehicles were taken off the road. China is also a global leader in renewable energy and plans to invest more than $360 billion in the field over the next 4 years. The United States went through its own environmental upheaval close to 50 years ago, passing sweeping legislation that helped clean up the soil, air, and water. Despite that, Louisiana's waterways remain among the most polluted in the United States. The new administration in Washington wants dramatic cuts in the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. And many fear with President Trump's mandate of jobs first, it could undo years of environmental progress in the United States. Environmental leaders say perhaps the most pressing global issue is the Arctic, where ice is melting and receding at an alarming rate.
It's warming faster than any other part of the planet, and it has the potential to have some real negative tipping points for the global climatic system.
Because of that, there is growing pressure on Brazil to protect the Amazon in much the same way that China's red line protection will do. There are many other areas around the world that need ecological attention, like Central African nations, Russia, and perhaps the most pressing, according to experts, is India.
There are two futures for India, and the question is which one actually happens. And one is a high carbon that depends a lot on coal, in which case we're cooked. The other is that it could follow China and be a real leader in renewable energy development.
As the world's third largest carbon emitter, many believe India could have a huge impact on managing global warming in coming years. If India pursues coal-fired plants, some environmentalists fear it could become the chief carbon emitter in the next 25 years. The air, water, and soil would suffer. China calls its red line strategy both a bottom line and a lifeline. If India makes renewable energy affordable, as China has done, environmentalists say India could also become a global leader in managing climate change. Under a president who denies man-made climate change, the U.S. could be heading in the opposite direction. Sean Callebs, CGTN.